Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is March the 5th, 2025, and this is episode 128. Couple more episodes and we'll be at 130, and every 10 episodes my husband comes on and joins me, so that's very exciting. Also, 128 seems like a big number. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to all my new viewers. I hope you enjoy this corner of the crafty internet. And thank you very much for returning for all my returning viewers. And I appreciate you coming back and chatting in the comments, supporting me in whatever way you can. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up down below. It's somewhere down here. Or if you're on your TV, get your TV remote out. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like, share it with a friend. All of those things really help me get more lovely participants in this corner of the crafty internet. My name is Roz, and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada, with my husband and my two kids who are 14 and 13. What do I have for you today? I have what am I wearing, finished objects, works in progress, stash, and books. So let's dive in, shall we? Today I am wearing my Hinterland sweater. This is a pattern by Jennifer Steinglass, and I knit it in 2023, so not that long ago. It was a bit of a project. I still could use some work on my color work. I think the yoke looks great. It's my small circumference color work that needs work, and this needs a depilling, which I keep talking about every time I wear it, and then I just don't have any time to do it, so we'll see. We'll see when that happens. This yarn is lovely, even though it does need a depilling. It is Cascade 220 in the fingering weight in dark plum and buff. You can find my Ravelry project linked down below, along with everything else that I talk about in today's episode. So links down below, details down below. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can find me on Discord. I have a Discord channel, group, whatever you call it on Discord. I am on Instagram as Rosberry Crafts. I'm on Ravelry. I don't know, what else am I on? Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky now. New thing. I'm on Goodreads. It's linked down below, the link to my profile or Storygraph. I also have a Ko-fi account if you're looking for places to donate a few extra dollars, and you can email me at rosberrycrafts@gmail.com. Okay, that's all the places. All right, so that is what I'm wearing. I am, of course, also wearing some hand knit socks. I've been doing a little sock of the day thing over on Blue Sky just to get some pictures up on there, because there wasn't much information about who I am and what I do. So check that out as a new thing that I'm trying out. And let's move on to finished objects. I have one finished object. If you watched last week's episode, you could probably guess. I have finished the Weekend TV hat. This is a pattern by my friend E, who is Holloway on Ravelry. And I made this out of some Cascade 220 in the cranberry color. And it is, the lighting is kind of shining this way, so it's more this color, like it's a really deep red. The cables on here are so fun, so addictive. I loved working on this, and it is done. It's on my little styrofoam head. I keep joking that Taylor should decorate the face with some makeup, but we'll see if she does. That's my 13-year-old. She's very crafty. It did take me longer than the weekend, but it wasn't the only thing I was working on. So, take that with a grain of salt, but it was a very quick project. I went down a needle size with it being a lot of 1x1 ribbing. I figured I'd go down a needle size, but now it's made kind of like a large child, small adult hat. It's pretty snug on my head. So I would definitely make this pattern again, but I would make the brim longer, and I would go up a needle size just to make a slightly bigger size, aka do what the pattern says and not what I think. that's the story of that. That's it for finished object. I got really, really close on my next one, which I'm going to pull up here. This is in a bag that I made myself when I was just futzing around with some bags. This is nice canvas, and I can't get this out. This is my downtown cowl. The pattern is called Downtown Chicago Cowl by Christy Becker. And I am like, so much of this has gotten done, and I am quite enjoyed working on this. Again, it's like almost done, so it's still on the needles on this side, but you can really see this is gonna be nice. This is gonna be nice. And yeah, what can I say? It was a very enjoyable pattern, easy to follow, maybe too easy because I got distracted a few times. So these pearl ridge sections in the middle, this one here where it's kind of like 3 separate bumps, I did correctly. This one I did not. I don't know what I did, but I did not do it correctly. Anyway, it's turning out nice. There's a few, you know, I was just knitting along and not paying attention and just doing what I felt like instead of what the pattern was, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. The yarn that I used for this is Knit Picks Essentials in the Mermaid colorway. It's definitely like a bluey, tealy kind of aqua color. And I'm excited to see how big this blocks out as. This lace is really going to stretch. And I think it's going to be a nice decorative piece that also creates some warmth around my neck. I love a cowl because they just stay put. So yeah, I'm just on the last, I've got this one row to complete, and then I'm going to bind off. I think I'm just going to use like a regular bind off in pattern, just with a much bigger needle size, because I do find that my regular bind off gets a little snug because I just, you know, especially with this many stitches, I just kind of whip away at it, and really it needs to be, you know, a bit more thoughtful. So if I do it on a larger needle, then I don't have to worry about it being too tight, because that would be unfortunate. I did use a German twisted cast on, so that's a nice stretchy one. I've done stretchier bind offs in the past where I'll link to the Very Pink Knits stretchy bind off video down below. And I'm sure there's multiple names for it, and it does make a very nice stretchy bind off, especially in a ribbed pattern, but it flares out a bit. And because this isn't like on the top of a sock, when you knit a toe-up sock and you get to the ribbing and you want to cast it off, it's fine, because when you actually wear that sock, it stretches out and you don't notice it, and then it's not a tight bit at the cast on. But something like this, I just want it to sit just so. I don't want it to flare out or be weird. I just want it to sit exactly where the ribbing is. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I will endeavor to update my Ravelry notes with what I actually do so that I can copy it again, and so that if anybody else is interested in what I did, then it's there. And I'm down to the last little bits of this yarn. Originally, when I was looking at the calculations, I thought that maybe I wouldn't have enough, but clearly I do. You know, math, it's hard sometimes, even for those of us that love math. And so yeah, I have plenty, but also not a ton left over. And I've got some other Knit Picks yarn that I have kind of partial skeins of that I think that would go with. So I think a stripy Musselburgh is in my future for that extra bit. This is my current project that is using my oldest stash according to Ravelry. That's one of my goals for this year, is to use up some of my oldest stash. So that is what's happening with that, and I am loving getting through some of these projects. The other project that I worked on this week is in this lovely bag. I won this from the Northern Knits podcast, which is a YouTube and audio podcast. And yeah, one of their viewers, what is her bag name? Oh, it's probably down in the bottom here somewhere. Fab Fibers. She used to make bags. She, you know, she's kind of retired, does it occasionally, but she makes beautiful bags and I love it. I'm just like, is it on here somewhere and I'm missing it? No. Anyway, she doesn't have a shop or anything. So, and it comes with a little pouch to put stuff in, although I don't have anything in here right now. I am making a sweater. That's another one of my goals for this year, is to make more sweaters. Sweaters and cowl and socks are the three things that I wear the most. And I feel like making things that are usable and that I will use on a day-to-day basis is going to be the best use of my time, and I am going to enjoy the most. I'm definitely a process knitter. I don't need the projects. If I have to rip out half of it and do it again, then I do. It's not a big deal, but I do enjoy wearing sweaters too. So where is my marker? Okay, so this is the back of the sweater, or the front of the sweater. Oh, this is the front of the sweater. Ha ha ha. And my marker is right here. See, I did a little dingle there. So I've gotten a good 4 inches done on there. 4 inches. 4 centimeters. How about? I've split for sleeves. I've tried it on. I measured it against a couple other sweaters that I have. It's definitely on the snugger side, which I'm okay with. It's still going to have a bit of positive ease. And yeah, talk about the pattern. The pattern is Favorite Flannel by Alicia Plummer. And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's got this great texture to it. I also think that the yarn is going to relax some after I wash it. So I might actually, after I've got this much left of a ball of yarn, and I'm alternating skeins when I get to close to the end of the skein, because these skeins, they are hand dyed, but they are more variegated, monotone than like something that has a bit more variation to it. So I think I'm just gonna alternate when I'm getting close to the end, and then the rest of the time knit with the one. So this is 100% superwash merino in the, so this is Cottonwood DK from Fireweed Fiber Co. And it's in the color Frosted Heather, which is just beautiful. I like, seriously. I mean, I like purple, but this is beautiful, beautiful yarn, and it's so soft. Because it is superwash, I do feel like it is going to grow. So I'm okay with it being a little bit snug at this point, because I know that it's going to grow. Most of my hand knit sweaters I wash by hand, and then I just use the washing machine to spin all the excess water out and lay them flat to dry. I know that with superwash, that definitely makes things grow, and you can put it in the dryer to, you know, kind of snug everything back up. So we'll see. I'm going to play around with it a bit, but I am happy with how that is coming out right now. That is all my works in progress. All right, so next up is stash. I have, since it's now March, I have my February numbers. I'm going to put them up on the screen here. So I'm happy to report that my yarn in for February was only my monthly club, my monthly sock club from Fireweed Fiber Co. So that was 366 meters. My yarn out was a total of 1,837 meters. So for the month, I am heading in the right direction. So that included my ski socks, my hike socks, the black hat that I made for Cooper, my Riley Rose cowl, and the hat that I just finished, the weekend TV hat. So yeah, that was pretty good there. I'm very happy with those numbers. I'm going to my next page in my book here. And this is my book, Confessions of a Yarn Junkie. It was in an Advent swap from a few years ago. So my year-to-date numbers. This is the important one. So the total for February and January is 732 meters of yarn in. So that is 2 months for the club. No other yarn has come in to the house, to my stash or anything. So that's good. And total yarn out for the last 2 months is 7,509 meters. So this gives me a negative balance of 6,777. So I'm feeling pretty good about the beginning of this year. And the only yarn that I had come in so far is my monthly yarn club, which we'll talk about next. And I have predictions. Well, I know that I ordered some yarn, but it's not coming till April, so it's not going to count for March's numbers. But I'm going to get this other sweater finished. I'm going to cast on some more sweaters and just really make some good progress with getting stuff out. However, the yarn that I ordered is to use up some of my Advent yarn in a project. So it was for a reason. I don't need to justify myself. If I see beautiful yarn and I want it, then I'm going to buy it. If, you know, I have a budget for crafting stuff. Anyway, that is it for my numbers. I'm very happy with my kind of buffer for the year, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next up, we are going to open my Fireweed Fiber Co. March yarn. So if you don't want to see this yarn, because it is only March the 5th, not everybody has theirs yet, then use the little slidey thing down below, and the next section will be books, so look for the little divisions and the chapters there. Anyway, you've been warned. I'm opening it now. I'm holding it away from the mic so it doesn't get too loud. Ooh. All right. So I am getting the Sweet Pea Sock Base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It is a 2-ply. I love this for socks. What else have I made with it? I can't remember what else I've made with it, but it is so soft and also lasts really well. So love the base. This is the March colorway is called Women Inherit the Earth. So this is based off of one of the photo from the movie, which shows one of the main characters. And I'm forgetting all their names, but yeah. So Fireweed Fiber Co. Love, love, love her stuff. I'm going to put that there. I'm picturing what else I can put it with. I have all these plans to make like faded sweaters. We'll see. We'll see whether that actually happens. So that is it for stash. Anyone that was looking away can look back now. I'm going to talk about books. My book goals for the year are to complete series that I have partially started. Now, some of these series I've started and the next book in the series is not out yet, or, you know, they were kind of an in-between series and then something came out in the library. So I have some on Kobo Plus or physical books that we own that I'm kind of reading in between my library holds. Because, you know, when something comes in from the library, you want to read it right away because you only have 21 days before it's got to go back. So, you know, anyway, so I have quite a few series that I am working on. One of them is the Kinsey Milhone series by Sue Grafton, and I have now finished K is for Killer. I've started L is for Lawless. So K is for Killer, you know, it's a great book. It's a good book. It was interesting. It kept me going. I wanted to read it. I honestly think it took like 5 or 6 days for me to read it. It was really good. Definitely highly recommend this series if you like a murder mystery detective. She's a private detective, but she works with the police quite often. You know, the way she figures things out and sees the world is just it's so cool. And even though these books were written, I'm going to say it, a long time ago, long in a relative sense, not recently, there's just so much diversity and inclusion and looking at the bigger picture of people are people. And yeah, I just love her writing. Anyway, love it all. You should read all of them. So that is on my list for this year. I have all the books coming in they're on my, I'm rotating all my holds on the library to make sure I at least have 1 or 2 of these on hold at a time so that I get through these by the end of the year. And then I got sucked into a new series, which is not part of my plan for the year, but it happens sometimes. So I was listening to another podcast, and I can't recall who it was. If I remember, I'll put it down on the screen. And they were talking about a book they listened to. It's definitely in the full romance variety section of the bookstore, if you will. And I thought, and it's part of a series, but they're not necessarily, like, they're connected in that, like, you know, they're connected in that they're in the same world, but not, you don't need to read them in order necessarily, but I'm kind of weird like that, and I like to read them in order. So even though I wanted to read the second book, which was the one that was recommended on this podcast, I started with the first book, which is called Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. And it's about a girl who owns a golf course with her family, but she kind of runs it. She does all the main stuff. And then this very famous golfer who's kind of, you know, in a slump, and, you know, hilarity ensues. Yeah, so it was good. It was interesting. Some of the romantic stuff was a little too intense for me, so take that with a word of warning. I did enjoy the book, though. I definitely wouldn't read it again. Once you kind of read the story, you've read the story. The second book is called The Au Pair Affair. I enjoyed this one more. I don't know if it was just because I related to it more. Yeah, the romance stuff was, I guess, a little less intense, so I enjoyed that more for sure. So this is The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey, and I did put the third book on hold at the library. So I must have liked it enough to want to read the third one. Also, my completionist thing is coming in. Then I think there's a fourth one that's not out yet. So we'll have to, maybe a fourth and a fifth. Anyway, I'll have to add it to my list of series to complete eventually when those come on hold, off of hold, or when they come out at the library. I got both of those from the library and listened to the audiobook. I really enjoyed the narrator for both those books, so I hope it's the same narrator for the third one. We will see. Yeah, and I've just been reading away on a few other things, but, you know, K is for Killer kind of took up my whole week, so that was good because I really enjoy those, and I will be sad when we get to the end of those, but I have a lot of books left still, so lots of time on that. I think, I'm just looking around, I've made a mess. I'm at the table today, which is kind of weird, so the bookcase is like way in the background there. But the lighting was just being weird we have these big picture windows, and the sun is like behind a cloud and out, and so I just figured it was easier to kind of just have that happen in the background, and you get me here in more consistent lighting. This is what happens when you use natural light instead of studio lights, but also I don't have time to mess around with it that much, so sometimes you get some fun stuff, and sometimes you just get some normal videos. That's what it is. Anyway, I am rambling again, as I usually do at the end of my videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed my ramblings, and like and subscribe. Hit those buttons down below if you did, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Bye.